Hi friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. Today I wanted to share with you a scrapbook page that I created using May 2025's paper pumpkin. So before we get started, just quickly let me introduce myself. I'm Rita. I love to create cards, scrapbook pages, and 3D projects. And I create them and share them with you in hopes that it will inspire you to create and share with those that matter to you. So let's go ahead and get started. So I haven't posted this process on my blog, but it should be there within a few days. So you're more than welcome to go and check that out at ritaspapermotif.com. Also, if there are any supplies that you see that you like, I know that they're available there in my store. All right, so let's get started. So as you all may know by now, I subscribe to the Paper Pumpkin. I love this subscription, and what it is it's a monthly subscription, and you can, when you subscribe, you can sign up for 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time, a year. It's really, you can customize it to your own individual liking. And once you subscribe, then at the end of every month, you receive a little box, and most of the time they look like this. Sometimes it's a decorative box, and inside this box are the contents to create whatever the intended project or projects are. And you get all of the materials in this box that you need to create those projects. Now, this paper pumpkin is, like I said, May's 2025. The theme is Mountain Majesties. So from that, we did get a little preview that we knew kind of what the theme might be, but we don't always know what's inside the box. So let me kind of open it up. Now, I do want to apologize. This is like my 4th attempt to finish this video. So I've already dealt into the contents of this box, but let me share what is still here, and then we'll share that scrapbook page. So in this box, you have all the materials that are needed to make these 9 cards. So there are 3 different designs, and you can make 3 of each design. Now, when I say the contents are here for creating these projects, that means you really only need to add scissors if this is what you want to do. Now, I like to take the contents of this box and kind of use these as guidelines, or to kind of to inspire some creativity. And then I like to bring in product from my own stash and recreate things in kind of a different way. But you don't have to do that. This is totally, the paper pumpkin is totally a great idea if you're short on space, or maybe you just like to craft occasionally. Maybe you haven't, it's not a hobby that you've really honed in on yet. Or maybe you want to give it as a gift to someone who likes to dabble in card making. So that is truly up to you. But these illustrations are the directions, so it doesn't matter what language you speak, you're always going to be able to create these cards. And it does say on the back, I guess I have this, here is the back. It does tell you what is in the box, what the contents are in the box. It also will tell you coordinating colors. So if you're wanting to deviate a little bit, or in this case make a scrapbook page like I am, then it gives you an idea of the colors that would match the colors that are used to create those card bases that I'm going to use, and then these other pieces. We also have an add-on die set for every 3 kits, so every quarter. So these are an add-on, and you can definitely get them. I like to get them, and you can use them at any time. So back to the box. In the box, in the kit, if it's a stamping project, then you'll get a little stamp set. These are photopolymer stamps, and if it's your first paper pumpkin, you'll get an acrylic block that you can use for your stamps. You'll also get an ink spot. In this month, the ink spot was a Misty Moonlight, and you can save these. They work just as well as a big pad, except for their 1x1 squares. And it's a good way to collect all of those different colors. But I'm going to read you some of these stamps, some of the sentiments that are on this stamp set, so you'll know what the basic theme of this kit is. And it says, you mean the world to me. To a wonderful dad, I love you. Best dad ever. You're the greatest. Happy Father's Day and happy birthday. I do have some stamps. These are bird stamps that we're going to be using on my project today. So they're already on an acrylic block, but those are what go here. Now inside the kit, you get all of these beautiful envelopes that match the card bases. And then I will show you two of the card bases, and that's because I've used the other one for the scrapbook page. But you can see these are beautiful card bases. They come already cut and scored, and just beautiful colors. And then you can follow the directions to embellish them. And then, of course, you have the coordinating envelopes that go with them. And so there's one card base. Let me see, I wanted to show you the other one. Here is, let's see, which one did I show you? So sorry. I've tried this video a couple of times and I'm kind of like overwhelmed with it. And then here's the other card base. So 3 of each, and then you have in here some vellum. You have some sentiments that are already printed for you. And then there are some punch outs that I've already punched out. But I want to show you what I'm using for my scrapbook page. And then I want to tell you what kind of inspired me to do this. So I have some photos. I have 3 photos. These are the 2 we're going to be adhering today. And these photos are of a family day out. It involved myself, my sister-in-law, my husband, and 2 brother-in-laws. And so we decided to go up into the mountains into, I believe it was Butts Lake in near Grand Junction, Colorado. And we decided to go for the day. The men were going to fish, and we women were just going to hang out. Well, I just happened to take our raft so that, you know, where would we hang out? That's what was my thought. But what a beautiful time to spend time out on the lake in the raft and just, I don't know, look through magazines, chat, just have a great time, right? So I thought I had been looking for something, designer series paper, ephemera and stuff, so that I could scrap those photos. And lo and behold, this is one of the card bases that is in that paper pumpkin. This is perfect. This really does remind me of the lake, and it reminds me of the scenery all around the lake. Anyway, so when I saw this, I was excited. Now I have already cut the top off, but when I looked at this, this is like cardstock. This is quality card paper. So I knew this was going to be heavy on any page that I created. And I also know that I normally create 12 by 12 pages. So I knew that using just this 8.5, well, by now it's 5, because I've cut off about 1/2 inch piece, this card base, I needed more to, I felt like, to finish off the page. So I just kept that in mind, and so my mind is thinking, what else can I do? What else can I do? And so we'll put that aside, because then I moved on to begin with, I needed to find all my components for the page, right? And so something that I like to do is I like to have a nice background layer that is 12 by 12, so we can see that it's a 12 by 12. And this is the paper I found, but I had a hard time finding this, because as I looked at my pictures, I had blues, I had some grays, I had the raft is yellow, we had some kind of yellowish life jackets, there were fishing poles. So when I thought of that, I thought some of those colors I would want to bring out and I'd want to repeat in my scrapbook page layout, right? But I did also want to base it, because this is going to be so prominent in the page. I really wanted to pay a careful attention to these colors. So we have black, we have pool party, we have, I believe this is gray granite, and then we have the Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight, Lost Lagoon, and then some more pool party. So I knew that getting all these colors in and getting them in proportion and not making it too busy, you know, might be a thing. So I tried the 12 by 12 in the gray, and I didn't like it. This was like kind of drowned out. In the Night of Navy, I didn't have a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and I was looking just at the plain cardstock is what I was looking at. And I was also looking for the Misty Moonlight. Well, Stampin' Up! Didn't carry 12 by 12 sheets in these colors, so I didn't have them. And also Lost Lagoon is kind of a newish color, and they didn't have the cardstock for that, or pool party. But what they have now is they have these two-tone colors. So two-tone pool party, two-tone Lost Lagoon, and they're lighter on one side and darker on the other. They do come in 12 by 12. And I just didn't have the pool party. I didn't have any of these in the 12 by 12. So I started looking through my designer series paper, and this is originally what I found, because I just have opened up and started using, it's called Weekend Adventure, and this designer series paper is in there. So when I first looked at this sheet, I thought, there's no way. I mean, that's just too busy, no way. So, I mean, I didn't even have to think about it. That was no-go. But then when I turned all of the papers over, here's what I found. And I felt like I hit the jackpot, because this is perfect. And you can see that it's perfect right on here. And so then I knew I wanted to, you know, I have to tone things down a little. So then I was looking for 12 by 12 white. Or a pool party, and like I said, I don't have the 12 by 12 pool party. So I did have 12 by 12 white, but it's thick cardstock, and this is already kind of heavy, and I didn't want to make my page so heavy that it, you know, it weights down and it's like flipping cardboard, right? So I thought, okay, what can I do here? So I decided to take, and I've already done this, so forgive me because I've already done that. I took some 8.5 by 11 basic white cardstock, because it isn't as heavy, and I knew that I could use, this would be the 11-inch side, and that would fit perfect for my matting, but it wasn't going to fit 12 by 12 that way. And so I thought about maybe not even needing it, but I didn't want to take a chance, because you don't want a lot of different elevations, right? And so I just cut this 8.5 by 11. I used that sheet, and then I just cut another part off of another sheet of 8.5 by 11, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to piece it together to make an 11-inch piece of white. And then I thought white, it's just plain white. You can see how it's kind of stark, right? And you go from that beautiful pool party to white. It just kind of like, I thought, I don't even know if I can doctor that up. But then it dawned on me, we are so fortunate because we have blending brushes and we have ink. So the part that was left over from this strip of white, I decided to cut it into like a stencil or a template, and I just cut like some things that would make some curves here that would make it resemble mountains. And so I just used that as a template, and I blended some Pool Party, which gave me the very same effect you can see there, right? And I was happy with that. So, you know, I did just use that to get that effect. Now, I did want to just say that when you do something like that, you don't want it to be the same everywhere. So I would kind of move and shimmy that template to get what I want. And then knowing that I could just put this down here, just kind of makes it, hopefully makes it kind of flow together, right? But this is too short for all of this 11. So I thought, what in the world could I do? Well, there was another piece of, there were 3 cards, right? So I have used 2 of them. And then this is, I've used 3 of them for another project. And this is part of something that was in those punch out parts of the card. So they're kind of meant to give your card some dimension. And so I thought, oh, I could use that. So I tried both sides to see what I could do. But here's what I did with this one. So this is the second page of my scrapbook page, because I already did the first on one of the videos. I tried to finish, but I just kept getting interrupted. So that's already done, and I am going to show that to you. But first, let's finish this second page. So I decided to just use this piece right here. And so then I just kind of moved it in a little bit, lined it up with this side. I do have a seam, but we're going to take care of that. We do have an issue right here, but we're going to take care of that. So I knew I could take care of that, but then I didn't like how it just went from here to here and there was no break. So I know that Lost Lagoon is a color in here, and so I thought, you know what I'm going to do is I am just going to somehow incorporate Lost Lagoon, because I know that I have it on my photos, and this is what I'm thinking that I'm gonna do with my photo, something like this. And I so it's gonna cover up a lot of this, but then I thought I want to bring in that Lost Lagoon, and I'm really becoming fond of Lost Lagoon. So here's what I did. I just took a strip of Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to move these up. We're going to go ahead and adhere that today. So let me get my adhesive here. And so we're just going to adhere that. And I am using today, sorry if I was out of focus there, I am going to use my Stampin' Seal here. And this, I like this because it will adhere it down, but I'm not going to, you know, smooth it out in case I need to move it. But I am going to go ahead and I am going to match up this Lost Lagoon with that white. So I kind of don't want any white showing, but I want it to be flush here. And I love this glass mat. I am looking for a Versamark, but I love this glass mat because when you do need to do those measurements, you have the grid lines for that. So there is my Lost Lagoon, and you can see what a difference it does make, right? So I want this to be flush with the edge, but I want some of the Lost Lagoon to show. So this, I think, is, if we measure it, is maybe about 1/4 of an inch, almost 1/4 of an inch, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and put this part of the card. Again, I'm going to not use a lot of adhesive because I'm going to need to stick this inside, so I need to be able to get underneath, but I also want it to stay. So we're just going to, let's see, now I have to measure it again, right? So let's see, I'm going to stick it right there. Now what I want to do before I press it very much is I want to bring that first page, and I didn't really want to show it yet, but I do need to measure. So we want continuity between our first and second page. We want to make sure that this is exactly the same. There we go. And so now I can go ahead and push this down. Now remember, when we go to put this in here, that we talked about doing something with that gap there. So I am going to just get this on here, and then we're going to fix that gap. So let's go ahead and get some adhesive on here. I usually like to use my liquid glue when I'm doing videos, but I want to be careful with my when I'm scrapbooking, because that glue, not only if you have to pull it up, can damage your pages, but it also, if you're not careful, and can get heavy-handed, it'll bubble up your pages, so we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to bring some pieces that I cut, because we don't really want that gap, right? So this is some Night of Navy, and I'm going to bring I just cut kind of something in my mind that kind of resembled some mountains, and this is why we don't want to stick everything really too much yet. So I'm just going to bring this in so that it gives the illusion of some of those mountains. So I can see it's up too high, so I don't want it higher than this mountain, right? So there we go. Let's see, maybe yeah, no, I think I had it right. So it's okay. Just want to kind of, there's our misty moonlight. All right, this is going to be covered up, but I don't want any gaps because I don't want that showing. And then I have this piece. Now you're going to say, where in the world did you get that piece? Well, let me tell you where I got that piece. So the envelope that matches, is that if you were going to use this as a card base, is this envelope right here. And what I did is I just put it in my trimmer, and I trimmed off that part where it's sealed so that it folds. I trimmed that off on both sides, and then this opens up. And so you see that it's, you know, it's lightweight, it's perfect, and it matches perfectly. So it wouldn't be good, like, well, I guess it would have been, but I didn't want to use up all my envelopes. So anyway, so I just cut a piece, and I'm going to stick that piece right here. And that is going to be enough. There we go. That's going to be enough to cover up that blank spot, right? And so let's just go ahead. And I know I know that it looks a little, kind of pieced together, because it is, but we're going to fix all of that, right? So just, let's just get this done. It's just that under my picture, I'm not going to see that white. See, this is why you want to, it wasn't straight over here on the edge here. You won't see that white there, and it'll be a little of a smoother transition. So see, when we put our photo here like this, you don't see as much, right? And we'll put some ephemera here, so it's going to be all taken care of. But we have that continuity of this going across the bottom of the page. Now I am going to put just a little bit of adhesive, not much, just enough so that these don't fly all over the page, and it'll give me the opportunity to just kind of move things around a little bit here, and so I can see where I'm going to start embellishing my page. So these will move up easily and not damage the page. So we're good with that right now. So then I didn't like this seam. That's something that is definitely an issue for me. But these were part of the punch outs, and they're intended to give your design some dimension, right? We're going to stick it right here where that seam is so that you'll never see that seam. It's also going to give it some dimension. So let's get our dimensionals here. Now in that kit, you do get a great big sheet of dimensionals, but so you see the great big sheet, but on some of these I'm going to want to use some mini dimensionals. And so on the top of this tree I want a mini dimensional, and so I'm just going to go ahead and put that right there. And I need that dimension because I want it to kind of flip over my and see, and I put it up too high. I want it to flip up over my picture. And so I need that dimension so that it doesn't bend like it just did. And so let's go ahead and put dimensionals on here. Now I love scrapbooking, and I love to stay out on the water with my sister-in-law and our family. But if you know anything about the Mile High State, you know that in some areas, and this area for sure, that many times in the summer, in the afternoon, we'll get rains. And along with the rain, this is doubled. I don't know what happened here. Let's get another one. I don't want to fuss with it. Usually there are thunderstorms too, and being out in the water in a thunderstorm is not a wise idea. All right, so that's part of the fun of this memory, is that we were out on the water and we're chatting, and I find out that my sister-in-law does not know how to swim. And she's also a little afraid because we talked about bears. And so when the clouds started to change and it looked like rain, it was a wise idea just to get out of the water. Well, she also didn't have a lot of experience on the water, and with the oars were a chore. So you know, I tried to get us in, but I felt that was taking too long, so I just jumped in the water and pushed the raft to the shore, and all was good. But I was freezing. And so these two pictures are a picture of my husband and brother-in-laws walking in with the fish they caught. And that's another thing with fishermen. When they go fishing, like in the mountains, because it's cool and calm and it's you and Mother Nature, they can be there all day. So they probably won't come home till either they've caught their limit or it's too dark. And so that's why I knew we'd have a lot of time on the water. So that picture is of the men coming in, and this is a picture of my husband helping me, first of all, to deflate the raft and also to change clothes, because cool lake water is more than cool. It's very cold, and staying in wet, cold clothes is probably not a great idea. Anyway, so here we are with that. Now I think it's like time to bring in the other page so that we can compare. So this is the first page that I already did, and I'm so sorry that video is done. I wanted to do it with you, but that didn't work out. So this is what that first page looks like. And so let's talk about that, and then we're going to talk about how we put them together. So on my pages, well, I guess I do need it so I can chat. I like to take my clusters, and I like them to lead a trail on my pages so that your eye will flow around so that you get the whole effect, right? I also like to include some journaling, and here's what I found. For me, and everybody's different, for me, if I don't stop and do the journaling right then then here's what happens. I'll forget, or, you know, maybe the intention, I get distracted or something with the intention that I had. And so I really need to journal right then. And so, you know, there's really not a place for journaling. And I am going to go ahead and stick this on there too, because I don't want that seam showing. So what I do is I kind of stop and I go ahead and do my journaling. But it would look kind of weird to have like a journal, a place to journal on here. And I do know that you can journal on the clear sheets, the labels, and so that I like to use that too. But I just didn't want to do that on this scene. And the scene is a whole part of the scrapbook page. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do a tag so that my journaling can be hidden. And so when I did this life jacket, here is a little tag that just fits right in here, and my journaling is done. Now, I did want to say something about that, and that's why I brought it up, is when you put your photos down, so my photo, this is a me and my sister-in-law and the raft on the water, and I'm not including the pictures on this video because I don't have permission from everyone to share those videos, so I'll just, you know, you get the drift. And so it's going to sit like this, and so we're on the lake, we're in our raft. The oars are kind of an issue, and we have our life jacket. So these were all things I wanted to incorporate as ephemera. So I went to Canva. I do have now a little Cricut Joy, but I'm still experimenting with that. And so I just went to Canva, because there's a free version that you can use, and I just printed up some ephemera that I wanted, and so that's what I used for this. And there's some little pine cones. This is pretty involved right here. I mean, it's pretty busy. It has a lot of, even though it's like a still lake, there is a lot of movement here, and I just wanted to be careful and not get overwhelmed with the rest of my embellishments. So I was looking for something that was tree related, and I did try stamping some trees because I thought maybe I could put like some trees up here or something, but the trees would just like be floating, like, and I thought to myself, if I'm going to repeat that whole eye flow thing, then where am I going to put them? Just up here? I could, I guess. But I decided that mostly on this page, it would look funny. And so I did have a tree stamp. This is an old paper pumpkin stamp, and this is how I store them. So I did have that, but that wasn't really what I wanted. I didn't really want a tree because I'd already ruled that out. And so I found this old Christmas stamp set. Very old. It's been retired for a while, but I like this stamp here. And so I just mounted it on my block, and I did, we're going to do that on this page. I stamped it here. So let's go ahead while we're talking about it and do it on this page. I want my clusters. So we have here, here, and I want some here because I'm going to put some words up here. This is why you need to have your photos to be somewhat movable. So I'm going to take my memento and ink up my stamp, and I actually just want these to just to like come off here, right? So I'm kind of placing it. I'm going to move my photo, and I'm just gonna put a few here. I felt like on the other one maybe I put a little too many, so I want to just like kind of let's see how that looks. I kind of want to be careful with that, so maybe another one here. And I'm also, let's see, think I better stop. Okay, so then I have that. That is done. And then, so my photo would live right, we can always fix it right there. And then I thought about the other embellishments that I have. I have a raft and a pine cone, but this picture does include a raft, but it's not like a big thing. And mostly what I wanted to scrapbook is how my husband was frantically trying to get us ready and get us in the vehicle so that we could get out of there before the rain came down. And so I wanted to kind of focus on him. I also wanted to keep in mind that there isn't really room for journaling here either. So I had made him a fishing vest, and this is from Canva. So I'm going to use that as a journaling. So it's going to live right there, and I don't have that done, so I will do that. I'm excited because we also have a stamp. I hope I got it out so that I can show you. We also have a new stamp that is perfect for those of us that are scrapbookers because, like I said, sometimes I have a hard time journaling because, you know, I'll type it up and do it in like some strips. But sometimes I like to include my own handwriting, not because I like my handwriting. I'm not super proud of it, but even though in school we did have to learn handwriting technique. But I can do better if I have lines. So this is a brand new stamp that is, I believe it's a pre-order, so it may not be just available yet. It's on the online exclusives. And I like these lines because I'll be able to stamp this on a piece of cardstock, so it'll be a tag size, and then I can hand write. So I'm just going to leave this here so we can see what it looks like. I'm not going to glue it down yet because I want to put it on a tag. But then I thought, what could be some other things? So then I thought maybe I didn't want that vest. Maybe I wanted a life preserver. So then let's play around with some of those because I did do some ephemera that we can play around with. So if I did the life preserver, I was thinking about doing a fishing net. I was thinking about a fishing pole. What did I just do with that fishing pole? Here it is. I was thinking about a fishing pole. So I actually could do the fishing pole with some twine and just kind of connect it here, but then when you pull this out, if it's connected to the tag, then that's going to mess with this. So I could do this as well. Or I could do this and, you know, maybe stick this right here like that, and that does cover up some of that seam. So I thought about that. I thought about just putting this here and this here, which I could definitely do. I kind of was thinking about all of that. I thought I could put another pine cone right here just so that it brings in the forest. So I thought about that too. And so here's what I finally decided. Since I used a vest over on this one, I think that I am going to use the life preserver only because, you know, you can pull out your life preserver when you need to, right? And I think that I am going to, hopefully it won't mess with anything, I am going to move this picture over just a little. Now the idea was to cover up some of this, but if we put our little jacket right here and maybe just the fishing pole right here, that will take care of that, and then the preserver. So that's what I'm going to do. So bear with me. I'm not going to tack this down, but I am going to do everything else. So bear with me while I do that. And again, you know, if you don't have like all of these stamps, which let's face it, we don't always, I'm gonna have to put a little bit of glue on this because it's so thin. We don't always have stamps or even ephemera like this, or sometimes it's so personalized that we have to think outside the box. So that's why I like that Canva. And I'm just going to put this right like that. I guess I should have put, let me pull this up quickly. I didn't put any glue on this part, and I need to so that it doesn't so that it lays down. And then I am going to go ahead and attach this life jacket. And this is going to cover up all of that side. So that's also a good thing right there. And we'll just stick it in there. So there I have, oh, I almost stuck my finger in that black ink. Bad idea. So here, if we look at all of this, we can see how we have clusters going all around, so it takes your eye all around. I went ahead and I did add this tree to that, so you can't see that seam, and this tree here, so you can't see that seam. Now, titles and words with me are something that I really like to do. So this "Oh What a Day" is something that I stamped. So this is in Misty Moonlight. Actually, this might, yes, Misty Moonlight. And then I just stamped it on a strip. So when you're cutting up your white cardstock, just keep these strips. They always come in handy. So I just went ahead and stamped that. So you can see, oh, what a. And then day, and I stamped this. Now, I am going to tell you something that I found that for me is personal, so I don't know if it's true with everybody else, but if you have a stamp positioning tool, these kind of stamps are great to put in there because you want this solid ink, right? And sometimes when your stamps are new or whatever, I don't know why always, but sometimes you will get like air bubbles or something under your stamp, and then you get splotchy stamping. But if you have one of those positioning tools, then you can keep stamping it because you can position it so that your lines are all on, right? But this is the stamp set that I used for that. And so I'm going to want words on here too. One thing I realized is I have birds on here, so we want birds on there. But I also wanted to share something with you. When you first look at this page, you're going to think, oh, Rita, what are you doing? Look, this is wider than here. There's a reason for that. Because this is a continual page, I wanted the margin on the inside to be narrow because I don't want your eye to stop right here. I want your eye, when you're looking at this, like it's offset, so there must be something following. Sure enough, it's another page. And that's why it's more narrow. So, so I did that on purpose. And I also did some before we stamp our birds, because this is important, I also went back to Canva because I wanted to put "Oh What a Day" with family. So I did some printing, and I can't wait till I get good on my, or better on my Cricut, so that I can do that with that. And so I'm going to put with family there. So this is important because now I need to know where to put my birds, because I do want to put some birds, right? And so I'm thinking I'm going to put the birds right here so we can move this a little bit. I'm going to keep it at the same height. And then I'm going to get out my block that has the birds on it. And I'm going to get out that stamp. Ink spot, sorry. That's right here. Now, typically I use my bigger ink pad for this, but this is already open, so let's just use this. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it up, and I want to make, or ink it up, and I want to make sure that I have the birds going the right way. And so here's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to put some birds here. Maybe I'm going to put him here, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So some birds there. And then on the opposite side, I have these few birds. So I think I didn't want to put a lot of birds here, but let's just kind of put some here. And, oh, I guess I can. Okay. So I was thinking, I don't want to put a lot of birds there, but they will be coming down, so that works. I didn't want to have like something that doesn't flow together. So I'm looking at these 2 pages, and I want these birds to kind of like, you know, I want them to be right. So we'll do another set. So I'm inking it up. Okay, and then, you know, when birds are flying, there's always a group that are kind of the leaders, so we'll just put those right there. All right, so I feel like I'm done with that bird stamp, and we're going to put our photo holder back. So maybe I'll put it maybe right there. Okay, and so then I'm going to go ahead and put these down, and I'm going to be using that my stamp and seal. So let's see, we're going to put with family. So how about we're going to put this down just a little. Let's see, just a little. Okay, with family. Now, another thing I really like are putting some words. Now, remember that if these go crooked, don't panic because they're not down. I mean, I'm going to put the photos on them later. So I like to put words on my spreads, and so I'm always looking for different words. Sometimes I'll type them out and you know, in a strip, and then just glue them on. So I was thinking, what I want a word here for this, and it used to be in the olden days I would journal right underneath, but that's up here, and so I want another word, an interactive word. So I went looking through all my stamps, and I remembered having these. So a long time ago, I used to subscribe to Citrus Twist, and these monthly kits that I would get were basically for planners or even journals, and so you would get a stamp set and some ephemera and some like alpha stickers or something like that to go with them. You never got cardstock, but you got stuff that you could add to your planner or journal. And so I saved these, and I just kind of keep them in this little iris case. And so I took some out. And this one that I have right here that I want to use here is Mountain Air. That's what I stamped on, Mountain Air. But I see that it's not straight, and that's kind of important. So I'm not really great with, yeah, I think I can do it. I'm not really great with scissors sometimes, but we're going to do that. So I see, when I put it here, I can see that it's not straight on the bottom. So let's just go ahead and try to make it straight. Oh, much better. And so I'm going to stick that right here. I'm going to go ahead and stick it because I hadn't wanted to because I was going to put my picture there, but let's go ahead and stick it. I can pull it up, and I'm going to stick it right here, mountain air. So remember, my sister-in-law and I are in the raft. And then I did another one, which is also not straight, so we're going to straighten it. And this says, this is an adventure story. And I had to use 2 different stamps, so I just put them like on my little blocks. And I put this is, and then an adventure story. And then this says mountain air. So I am just going to go ahead. I do need to straighten this out because that will bug me. I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to put it here because this already has all this ephemera. And so let's just, now if you don't have stamps, you can, like I said, you could type these. Oh, this isn't straight either. You could always type these on like labels and then just put them on your spreads. So let's just put this, I think I want to put it just right here. Okay, and so we've, I feel like we've completed that. What I would want to do is to use some sort of bling or something on there. And so I look through my bling, and what I like to do is, you know, I will use stuff in my stash that, you know, just to use them up, right? And so this is something that's retired. This bling is retired, but it will definitely work. So there's that, and I also have, let's see here, I have those. But I like to use the same stamp for both pages. I mean, same bling for both pages. So the ones I just took out, these, there's only what, 5. So I really kind of think I want 3 on each page. So I'm kind of missing something. There's these, which are pretty close. So, you know, we can do that. We could use some black to bring in the black here, but we already have some black, so I'm not sure that's necessary. I don't have like any little tiny bird gemstones, which I think would be fun, but I don't have those. So here's what I'm thinking. What do I want to use? So I know these are out, so let's put them away. I'm kind of tending to go with these, so let's go with these. Now, I'm not even sure where I got these, so I couldn't tell you. I think I might have gotten them as a gift, so I don't know. So let's go ahead and put some bling on here. I know these are not Stampin' Up! Because of where the adhesive is. So I'm thinking I want to put some bling right here. So I'm going to put 3 in a row. See, that bling is weird. Okay. So, here's another one. So we'll just put it there. I'm trying to get it straight. One more there. And then I'm thinking, where would I want it on this page? And I'm thinking I'm going to put it right there. Right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put them in a straight line. Now, you know what? One of the things about scrapbooking is it's, we can totally do our own thing, right? So, you know, you could do yours any way you wanted, but the idea of this video is to show you that we can use such things as even paper pumpkins for our scrapbooking. So let's look at this again. I think that we're I think that we've done it. And so here's page 1. with the picture of us on the lake rafting. And page 2 with kind of like the after thing of it. Okay, so there you go. I certainly hope that you enjoyed this video, and I have another video I'm going to do with the Daisy Daydream with the scrapbook page, so hope you come back to check that out. But remember that your paper pumpkin is a good tool for scrapbooking, and when you have those designer series papers, don't feel like you have to commit to one side, because there's always 2 sides to every story, right? 2 sides to any double-sided designer series paper. So thank you so much. You can check me out at ritaspapermotif.com, and you all have a very great weekend. Bye now.